So, Luke, thank you very much for accepting this invitation to join us at Talking Thoughts. Our first question, it's about your little bit of personal history. Like if you remember the beginning of your design journey, when you started studying it, when you get interested in design, if you remember how you became together.
Yeah. Well, it's quite fun actually, because back at high school, I was very much orientated around like biology and chemistry and
Really?
that sort of science nature. Yeah. So I was very close to getting down like an environmental science sort of area, and then I kind of just at the end of high school, I all of a sudden wasn't very like into it, and did a curveball and applied for spatial design. I didn't get in the first year because I hadn't done any like art or design previous to that, so I had no portfolio. So I spent a year trying to build that portfolio up, applied the next year, and then got in. And yeah, so I sort of came into this sort of a bit blind, like not really understanding design and creativity and how that sort of process works. But yeah, I've picked it up now and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah,
Cool.
That's how I started.
But do you remember why you chose it?
Well, I've always had an interest in architecture, and that's why I'm doing spatial design now. It's my major. Yeah, I sort of had that little hint of interest, but I just never knew I could apply it that way. I guess I never thought I would be able to do that as like a career or study it. So yeah, I guess it was lucky, I guess, ending up enjoying it. So
yeah. And now that you have a little bit of experience on it, what would you say design represent in your life? Like, what is the meaning of design for you?
Well, I think that the great thing about it is that, especially at university, you get a chance to work on so many different projects. So you get to find your niche, I guess, or your expertise, or what you're interested in. So for me, I spent the first 2 years doing a number of different projects and enjoying them all, but not knowing really what I love doing, I guess. And I think when I did this last project with Lisa, that sort of opened my eyes. And when you do a project that's human-centered and works with community and things that really make an impact on people and spaces, I think that's really rewarding, being a designer.
And what do you enjoy the most about studying? It could be any area in the design field.
In terms of studying, I think I really enjoy projects working with within groups and working with stakeholders and being able to really connect and interact with the community that you're designing for, instead of because we've done projects where you got the set brief and you do all the design stuff, but it never goes anywhere, and you never really hear from the people with impact. But I think the projects that you get to work with them and get feedback and then change your designs, I think those are it's definitely my favorite part of studying and doing this design.
It's like the part of the projects that involves connection and talking to other people in person and see your projects getting to real life.
That? Definitely. It definitely adds another level of difficulty, because obviously if you don't critique anything, you don't know if it's good or not. You may think it's good, but I think facing that hard truth and getting constructive feedback or negative feedback and then making something better is you come out with a better design at the end of it, I think.
And do you have a memorable moment of your design story until today?
I think the most memorable moment was probably presenting the studio project for the dental clinic, as I was saying before. So because of the whole COVID thing, everything was online on Zoom and stuff. So originally we were supposed to present in the hospital with all the stakeholders and staff there. And that idea was sort of scrapped at the start because of COVID. But then 2 weeks before we were supposed to do it, the paper leader was like, right, we got the green light, we're doing it. So we got to present in front of, I don't know, there might have been 40, 50 people
Oh my God.
and like this seminar and on Zoom and stuff like that. So we're presenting all our ideas and on a big slide and stuff. And that was the first time I've really been in that kind of that space before. So that was really, really exciting and rewarding.
And from 0 to 10, how nervous were you?
Well, from building up, I was probably a 9 or 10, definitely. But once I actually got up there and started talking, I actually, for the first time ever, I felt really comfortable, and I kind of just, it just flowed really well. So once I was up there, it was all good. But before, I was very, very, very nervous.
And what was the best project you developed? I believe it's this one, because you already mentioned it 2 times.
Yeah, I think so. Like it's definitely the most stressful project I've done. Because when you work with so many people, there's obviously a lot of conflicting ideas and a lot of struggles with that. But I think coming out of it at the end, sort of reflecting back on it, it was definitely. I think I learned the most during that project.
And could you tell me, what do you think is the best part about being a student?
I think the best part is having the freedom to be super creative, especially doing this course that we're doing. So like I compare it to other courses at other universities, and they're all great, but I feel like this course in particular and being a student really allows you to do something crazy and do something that sort of, it might not work, but at least you tried like a sort of a crazy idea, and a lot of times you won't get that opportunity outside of being a student. So I feel like you may as well take every opportunity you can to do that now. So yeah, the freedom and the creativity is definitely the best.
And what is hard?
I mean,
a lot of things.
a lot, yeah. Like the whole sort of design process is difficult. Like some weeks, you might have a really good week and start coming up with all these good ideas, and the next week you've just hit rock bottom and you're stuck for a week and you don't move anywhere. So it's a back and forth process. So yeah, I guess trying to keep rhythm and keep that development flowing is difficult. At some stages.
About the coronavirus situation, what would you say was the biggest change you suffered in your studying and designing process when you were in the scenario of the lockdown and isolation?
I think for me, like I enjoyed parts of it and I disliked some parts of it. I guess the parts that I did like was the ability to connect with everyone so easy, because all the classes, all the meetings were on Zoom, and that meant you can talk to people overseas that you wouldn't normally talk to. So if our paper leader brings someone in, like a design researcher or something, so it's that connectivity is good. And then I think the negative part about it is just being, especially as a designer, well, not all designers, but I think a lot of designers work well in the studio environment. And when you get taken out of the environment, a lot of the creativity and a lot of the ideas sort of start to disappear. That's definitely how I feel for me. I think that sort of limited how I thought about projects and sort of how I thought, about things, just being stuck in one room all day and sitting on a computer all day and all that. So, yeah, I think, there was definitely positives that came out of it as well, but overall, probably not that great.
And about your learning process, when something catches your attention and you want to learn something new, how do you do it?
I guess if I've sort of discovered something maybe, or have been interested in something, like say like the learning process, I just try to explore it as much as I can, whether it be like just researching or exploring it in my studio practice or something like that. If I've discovered like a new way of doing something or something that caught my eye, I'll try implement that whatever I'm doing at the time. It's a hard question to sort of answer, but I think that's
Do you think
something
so?
along the lines of that. Yeah.
Now, an easier question. What is your dream as a designer?
Right. Yeah, that's harder. Yeah, it's difficult. Like I think my goals seem to change after every project I do. Like because since we're still learning so much and still trying out new things, you you don't know everything yet. So I feel like there's a lot more to offer than what I know now. So I mean, I really enjoy doing these sustainability projects with Lisa, and that's why I wanted to, connect with you and talk about this, because it's not something I thought I would take as a career goal at the start, but I've realized that I enjoy it the most, and they're the most rewarding project. So that's why I wanted to explore that more. Yeah, I mean, I guess my overall dream is just to be able to work on, cool projects that really, connect with people and do a little bit of everything. Don't want to be sort of down one lane. I want to explore as much, design that I
Yes,
can.
I believe that the more areas we study, the more dreams we have. And our last question, it's about DESIS itself, because we are trying to give the students a more active voice and power within the network. So I would like to know if you have any ideas or expectations about what we can do together in the future as DESIS students.
I guess for me, I mean, I plan on doing my master's project next year, and I guess having connections or having people to be able to, talk about projects or talk about ideas and stuff like that from, you know, I think that the benefit of having this global network is that you have all these people in these different environments that have experienced different things. So that could sort of shine a light on someone's project or someone's thinking, I guess. I guess that's a good benefit of, so, say for example, I'm doing my master's project on whatever it might be. It, might be helpful to sort of bounce off ideas or, let others critique from, different areas or something like that, I think maybe.
Yes.
I guess I'm still getting my head around what this all sort of, all means and
Who isn't?
Yeah.
That was our last question. I will thank you again for joining us and accepting this invitation to participate in this interview.